So our sales enablement program, like Kevin said, it originated from this concept of we don't believe in it. If you build it, they will come mentality. We have to build it, which we did, but we have to make sure that those guys are confident and dangerous when it comes to be able to sell CPaaS and the applications out into the marketplace. These guys, a lot of them are telco folks. They've been doing telco stuff all their life, or they're brand new into this marketplace, and the market is evolving so much that it's hard to keep up. So, our experience has seen the sales guys and gals, they want to sell what's on the truck because that's easy, but they want to sell also the nice new stuff, but they need to be able to talk to it correctly. So that's why we've come up with so much sales enablement. We have a playbook. We have our own secure portal that our partners can log into, and they get content that has been explicitly generated for them that they can easily, as Kevin said, white label, rebrand, put their logo on it, and train their teams on. But it's not just about content, because content is everywhere. It's about making sure that they have the confidence to go out in the field and talk this technology and walk the walk. So which is why we've actually gone face to face and given, as Kevin said, 1 to 2 day training courses on everything from what is CPaaS, how do you do a demo, how do you sell the individual application, how do you role play with customers that are with the competitors and they don't want to switch. So we've tried to go through as many scenarios as we can to make sure that at the end of it, they can literally go to bed, wake up, and start making phone calls and start getting out there. It's been really successful. And now because of the pandemic, we've actually brought the course online. So now it can be done 100% virtually. And we have some of our key accounts that are actively signing up for those this month. So we're really excited about bringing that forward.
Because of the success of some of the large publicly traded CPaaS players, I think ourselves and some of our partners felt that CPaaS had kind of hit the mainstream. And I think one of the key things that we've learned and created best practices around is that it's really, really difficult to go out and sell APIs and Salesforce.com integration. The use case makes sense, but as Veena was just saying, the typical telecom sales guy isn't selling APIs. It's a pretty consultative sell. And so one of the things that we've learned, and we really stress this as part of our training and help along this way, is that it's really important to pick 1 or 2, at the most 3 use cases. And you really focus on the use case, not this CPaaS acronym. And so what we encourage our partners to do is look at 2FA. Two-factor authentication is a really hot product right now that lots of companies are looking for. So use that as kind of as a land and expand opportunity to go out with something that everybody's Googling and searching for as a product. You're able to take that to market. And then what we found is once we've engaged with the enterprise customer, they always come back to their sales guy and say, okay, well, you can do SMS this way. Does that mean that I could send a blast to my customers? Does that mean I can send an alert when this happens over here? And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're in the CPaaS business, right? And so, as we look at this, we see number masking as a key application. As I've mentioned, 2FA is super popular. A product that we call Message Exchange is also really important for the UCaaS space. I know that you have a lot of UCaaS listeners where SMS is becoming table stakes for end users as part of their unified communications experience, right? You don't want people using their private devices to send text messages to customers. You want to have an audit trail for texting, just like you do email. And so, that's a real popular application as well. So with our platform, we have a lot of flexibility and there's a number of things we can do, but really what we focus on are these, handful of use cases that we know that the customers are looking for today.
When we start talking about revenue and how a CSP goes about generating revenue from a CPaaS provider, how does that work?
I can give you a couple examples. So I shared a little bit on the 2FA with the bank, right? And so essentially what we do is we charge a wholesale price for a service. And, we understand where we sit in the stack. And so, we like to keep that so that they're very competitive against the other products in the market. And so if we think about it, you've got, your over-the-top CPaaS players, Bandwidth, Twilio, MessageBird in Europe. They've set a price that enterprises are paying for today. Where we think we have a real advantage with our partners is that our partners usually own their network. So they have a cost advantage. These other players are usually buying service from them, right? So they have a cost advantage. And because they run their own network, they also typically have a quality advantage because they're monitoring it end to end. It's not a least cost routing type of thing, right? So they've got that advantage. And then with our model, we come in at a price point that allows them to then be price competitive against any of those retail prices. And so that's again where this partnership of they have the network, we have the technology, we're able to bring that together and allow them to be very competitive from a price perspective. So 2FA, it's per session. Every time somebody authenticates something, the cash register rings. We get a small percentage, they get a big percentage. Number masking, you can sell them DIDs, you can charge them for the session that you've set up for the number masking, and the actual usage when somebody calls through the app. So you're making money 3 different ways with number masking. So essentially, it's taking their network, adding this layer of capability, and then it's really a situation where 1 + 1 = 4, because the differentiation that we create between the two of us working together allows them to really have a differentiated product in the market at a quality price.
What about the fact that selling CPaaS is not normal for them? So how do you get around that? How do you bring them into a comfort zone? I guess it's partially through your education efforts, like that class we just talked about. But in what other ways can you hold their hands? What other ways can you bring them up to speed so they get really adept at selling this whole CPaaS opportunity?
That's where Kevin and I come in with our 1-2 punch, right? So I come in first and I get them all trained up. I get them all excited. I say, hey, you can do this. We believe in you. And here are all the value propositions that you're now bringing. And honestly, they're excited because they really like being the ones that are bringing the new cool technology to their customers. Think of the doctor's offices that are now doing telehealth. Well, how are they authenticating with their customers? They're hopefully using 2FA, right, as a security measure. They can now get that from their telecommunications provider. Think about the doctor's office that wants to do number masking because the doctor wants to be able to call their patient, but they want that number to be private, right? So there's another use case right there for CPaaS that we can put into a telehealth type environment. So we come in there and we get them excited, confident, trained as much as we can. We give them the ability to do a demo. We give them the ability to share content. And then Kevin comes in and says, okay, let's go out and sell. And then he has all the best practices. He has all the experience and all the know-how and how to get past to that call number 2 or that meeting number 2 to get things going.
It is really cool. When they finish our course, a lot of them actually go and update their LinkedIn profile. We have a little icon that we can share with them that they can add to their LinkedIn profile. So they're really proud about the fact that, I've got a certification or I've learned something that differentiates me, and it helps them in their career, right? And not only in their job today, but it's something that they've accomplished. And then we have our account teams that work really closely with our partners. They're really partners. Because I think it's maybe important to share too, is our business model is very much a partner model. It's a usage kind of SaaS-based model. So, to CPaaS enable a CSP, it's not $1 million software. There's a small setup fee, and then we just charge you when you use the platform. And so our team is super motivated to help our partner drive traffic, because frankly, we don't make any money until they do. And so essentially, myself, my team, Veena, and her team, we are extensions of our partners. And so, we really work closely with them. We have weekly calls. We do, monthly touch points with their sales teams. The other advantage I think that we really bring to this relationship is that we literally have, major partners all around the world. And so we're learning things from Indonesia, from Japan, from the Middle East, from London. And each has their own little culture thing or a different use case that they have a little twist on it. But we can kind of curate that information and then share it back to all of our different partners. And I think it really makes us a unique partner to work with. I feel like we're a global citizen too. We understand their business because we've come from that industry, and we're just here to help. So we've got the technology set up and ready to go. And then we really engage in helping them build the business because our whole future is based on their success. And so we're completely aligned in how we work together with our partners.